Across Europe, pastoral farming systems are under pressure. The transition of pasture ownership and know-how to younger generations is weak, and pastoral areas are experiencing socio-economic decline. This pressure is clearly visible in Hungary. Now, European researchers are highlighting the important role of herders, not just as livestock farmers, but as knowledge keepers and innovators.
We think that traditional herding has lessons how we can develop a more sustainable future for us, because they have been testing their practices for millennia.
Traditional herders rely on the intensive observation of nature, the climate, animals and plants. It's not only about preserving tradition. Pastoral farming preserves a rich biodiversity, prevents rural land abandonment, and contributes to sustainable food production systems.
The herders and the nature protection environment is very closely connected to each other. The main benefit of keeping alive herding traditions is that herders can produce meat, basically meat, milk products and many other products from their animals, and that is the most sustainable kind of food producing still nowadays.
Sustainable because inputs are low. Only healthy grassland and mobility are required. However, both are under threat due to climate change and complex rules and laws.
In Hungary, herders noticed already that because of the polar circulation, we have longer autumns, which means that more grass in the autumn, but we have unexpected frost in April and snowing in April. They have to adapt to this unexpected frost on the pasture, because if it's cold in the morning, then the grass doesn't grow. So climate change is not only about warming, but unpredictability.
Presumably, the herders could adapt to new weather extremes, but seasonal herd migration across the region is restricted by law.
Herders have centuries-old methods how to use the environment as a whole. They can graze almost everywhere in the countryside in the right time if they are allowed. And I think the main problem of herders now in Hungary and around the world also, they are not allowed mobility. What herders need in this environment is much more mobility. And they can get this mobility only from the decision-making side.
Experts in the EU research project BioTraces aim to raise awareness of the daily challenges herders face, while pushing for rules that allow more flexibility in herding and fostering stronger networks among herders. One important group in this regard are women herders.
Gyere elő! Gyere elő! Financ, menj be!
When we are speaking about herding, almost everyone thinks about men. Women are very often invisible for different reasons.
Tehát mindennek meg kell, hogy feleljen egy nő. Tehát úgy a gyereknevelés, a háztartás, a tanyasi munka, a pásztormunka, a bürokrácia, a rengeteg papírmunka, tehát mindenben. Régen a nők azok sajnos úgy, mintha nem is lettek volna. És most ugye próbálunk, nagy szót mondok, hogy kitörni, mert nem kitörni, de próbáljuk, hogy igen, el legyünk ismerve.
Women have a double role. They are tradition keepers and they are niche innovators. They are specially innovating things that need to be innovated. So it's a nice balance between keeping traditions and innovating.
This is why, in 2021, the Hungarian Women Herders group was established to support female herders.
A nőket, akik ugyanúgy pásztorkodással foglalkoznak, mint a férfiak.
It helps them change information about regulations, how to apply for something, disease management, when and how to buy hay. So there are many practical things they exchange knowledge about. But I think the most important is to feel important, to feel connected.
This is helping rebuild a base for future generations of herders.
We are trying to connect these people because a very useful knowledge exchange has started, and there are fewer herders left in Hungary. So who will become a herder in this century? So we need young herders. We have to establish some kind of society to build up a team to produce the future herders in our community.
The message is clear: herding is changing. However, traditional pastoral farming is important for local food production, reducing vulnerabilities from intercontinental biomass transport. Also, grazing is key to managing landscapes. Hooves aerate the soil and manure returns nutrients, keeping soils fertile and resilient. Herders carry deep knowledge of the land while preserving biodiversity, rural traditions and life.
We would like to establish a society that is much more diverse and much more deeply linked to biodiversity than our society at the moment. For humanity to stay alive, this is an essential work in many ways to connect back to nature, to connect back to the biodiversity and to understand biodiversity. Not just us as researchers, but the whole society, the whole humanity has to understand that we are not cut off nature. If nature fails, we will fail also.